Hello, everyone. Oh, Doug, I'm bringing him in. I was about to
Hello.
say, Doug has left it just a little bit too late, but he popped in bang on
Right, yeah,
time. I
right
mean,
at the last minute.
you are like connected to the world clock in some way because that was yeah, bang on time. Well, well, welcome everybody. Um, that's thrown me a bit that you arrived just there like a apparition. Anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us at the Niche Lifestyle Show. I guess first up, how you doing, Doug? Did you run down the stairs into the basement?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was running down, got coffee, got some water. My wife had a dead battery like yesterday, so I had to help her like get going to the place so she can get a new battery. Hence, I usually show up like 5 minutes early, something like that. But this time, for people that don't know, it was like 3, 2, 1, and I popped in, and then here we are. So.
If I didn't know you better, I would have said you timed that on purpose. But,
Yeah, usually, but otherwise things are good. It's getting a little cooler here, like fall weather. It was pretty hot a while back, and it's cooled off. Leaves are changing colors and all that stuff. So yeah, it's good around here.
very nice. How about you, Elena?
I'm good, thank you. I'm Alex again.
Oh yeah, Alex again. You are indeed.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been working on a case study this week. So I've been like looking at data, and it's been so interesting. You just get so into it, and you're like, oh my god, I have to put this, and you try to make it look fancy. And yeah, it's been a pretty exciting week for me so far. Just really spending a lot of time on this case study. It's a link building case study that I'm working on, so I'm really excited to get it done and show it to everyone.
Excellent. That should be good.
How are you, Mark?
Good, yeah. So, well, not really. I was networking inverted commas to about 4:30 in the morning at Brighton SEO last week, and Dave and I, who both went, ended up with colds as a result of doing that. So, which I'm going to blame Tim Sulu from AHRS for, because he said. I said to him, so I can't remember what all the conversations were about, but I basically said to him, "Oh, you seemed a bit out of it when I mentioned it." Oh, that's right. He was in. We had like a authority hacker kind of group messenger guy, so everyone could track where everyone was. And what I mentioned to him on the first day I saw him, and he looked blank at me, and I said to him, and then after the event, like a day after the event on the Saturday, he said, "I only just found this group, and it was in his like message request section, in Facebook." I said, "I thought you looked a bit blank," and then he said, "Well, I looked blank because I had this terrible cold that I'd come down with." And I'm like, "Great, I shook your hand, and now I've got your terrible cold." Yeah, so I got it. Dave's got it. But it's going around. It's going around the UK at the moment. That's for sure. There seems to be lots of people with it. So I don't know about over there, Doug, but it seems to be a lot of people with colds at the moment. It's not COVID because I checked.
Yeah. It's I was gonna say I haven't heard of anything specific going around, but obviously there's a lot of factors involved. I know a few people were sick at the conference that I was at about a month ago, and I made it through okay. Everything was good with me, but I stayed up late, maybe like one night till like 3:30 or so. But other than that, I like tried to get to bed and like just stay away from people, have downtime. And I usually don't do that. I usually end up with a cold afterwards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just the perfect storm, isn't it? You get yourself really run down, you've got no immune system, and then you just go and mix with loads of different people.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. So so I was feeling really rough on Monday night. I went to bed at 4 p.m. in the afternoon and didn't get up until the following morning. I just had like a headache, like hot and cold sweats, what kind of thing. But it like really hit hard. But like the next day, I felt way better. So sort of hit hard. Didn't last very long. That thing. A bit of a blocked nose and everything, but yeah, not too bad. But yeah, you may have noticed that Elena's turning to Alex or Adam, depending on who you'd like her to be today. Adam is still in Spain, but he's on his last week in Spain. So he's been there like 7 weeks now. His last week in Spain, which he decided to take as a holiday, which of course has decided to be a week-long a week of rain, basically. He's had sun loss. He's been there, and he's taken a week holiday in the last week. It's been raining. I think it's going to be raining this week. So, and Alex is missing this week and the next 2 weeks. And I can't remember. There's different reasons for every week. I can't remember what this week was, but we won't be seeing Alex for a while. So maybe we'll be seeing more of Alona instead. Anyway, so on to today. Now, who have we got? Who have we got turned up already? We've got Brian. We've got Sue. We've got Deepak. We've got Richard. We have Daniel, Yasin, Scott, Tony. We've got LinkedIn user, favorite person there. Sue, Luke, Birdie, and Carly. So welcome everyone. So today we are talking about the 10 plus ways to make money with niche site. But before we do, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, which is if you're new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel, grow the audience, and just have more fun on these live streams. More people, more fun. That's what I say anyway. We'll see if it comes true. If we get enough likes by the end of the show, 35 likes. There's already 27 people on stream. So if you all press the like button now, we're almost there. So we get 35 likes by the end of the stream. We'll give away some niche website builders merch, caps, mugs, t-shirts, that kind of thing.
And one other piece of housekeeping that I'll throw in is I think you just got it. The website investing show. I was like, this is not that show, is it? What show am I on?
Oh, did I say website investing show?
No, you said it right, but the banner or whatever was the wrong one. Yeah.
You know what? I've set this one up for we're just going with this today. We're going with this today. today. Actually, the topic is website investing, so it could be right.
Okay, it fits.
But yeah, I've set everything up in the wrong show today because I've set up some captions and I can't really easily move them over to the other one. So we're just going to stay with this. So Building Empires is the event that we run twice a year. First one was last June, where we had lots of speakers talking about how they make money, similar to today's topic, how they make money building websites and niche sites and that kind of thing. Some really great speakers. You can go and check out those talks for free at building.empires.live, but you can also register for the next event, which is in January, February next year, which is not only talks, but workshops and things as well. And if you're interested in any of the services that we offer at Niche Website Builders, go check out the description for the link there. Okay, so on to today's show then. So I guess I wanted to, I picked this topic today, and I guess quite often people don't go too far into thinking about how a number of different ways that you could monetize a niche site. And quite often it just stops at ads or ads and affiliate, and that's as far as people go. And there are many ways to monetize sites. Now, a lot of them only really comes when you start getting traffic, right? Like until you start getting traffic, like nothing really adds up to much. In fact, even ads and affiliate doesn't really add up to much. But really, some other things ways that you can monetize a site just require more investment, and probably until you've got enough traffic, it's not worth that investment. But we'll kind of go through a bunch of things. I've got a list of 11 like bog standard kind of ones here. They're kind of bog standard. Well, I guess they're nothing too amazing and creative. So I guess if you guys have got anything else creative that you come up with as well, that are ways that you can monetize site, we can do that. But I think these ones are just, I guess, easily accessible, easily understandable for people, and kind of apply across really pretty much any niche most of the time. So we'll start with the obvious ones then. So ads / content. So it's pretty easy to add ads to your site. In the old days, you'd start with AdSense potentially, but for me and for I think most people, AdSense offers you so little in return that it wasn't worth clogging up your site for it until you had lots more traffic, at which point you can get a proper ad network of the site. So you can use a Zoic these days. They have a pretty low threshold for entry. Used to be 10,000, I think, page views a month. Now it can be. I wouldn't say it was zero, but it can be a lot lower than it was. So the bar to entry is like much lower than it used to be. I think most people listening to this will probably know about ads. We probably won't labor on it too much, but there's lots of different options for ad networks. The most popular ones, especially amongst our community, are Zoic, Mediavine, and AdThrive. But there are a bunch more, and there's other kind of niche specific ad networks as well, of which I can't think of off the top of my head. There's one that's very much in the. Did you mention one the other day, Elena? That's right, or maybe that's someone else. There's
Yeah,
very much like in the
gourmet ads, I think we're called.
gourmet ads.
Gourmet
Yeah.
ads. Yeah, and I was looking at an H domain recently, and I noticed that they were using that network. So I'm like, oh, okay, and they were a food site.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they reached out to me and said, hey, I guess they do that to a lot of people, but yeah, it kind of piqued my interest because they are, I think, specifically on food and drink.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I didn't investigate really further with them because I've been told by you and by a lot of kind of industry leaders that Ezoic is kind of your best shot, at least for the type of traffic I have. But yeah, that kind of piqued my interest, I have to say.
Yeah. There's that. I've not used. Is it Monumental? Monumental. I've never used that. I've got that wrong. Have you ever used any other non-standard ad networks, Doug, or niche-specific ad networks or anything like that?
No, just familiar with the big ones generally. So yeah, nothing big to add here. Although one thing to add to the conversation or to ask you guys, a lot of people actually it comes up almost every week on my live streams. Should I start with AdSense and just wait to go to Mediavine or AdThrive or something like that, or should I just do Ezoic in the short term or whatever? And usually I just tell people, start with Ezoic because that's where you can, get started right away. It'll probably be better than AdSense. And then you could decide if you want to even try to migrate or not. So I feel like there's some kind of, especially people that are inexperienced, it seems like they don't really know. So they've just heard a lot of people talking in various communities. So they just don't know where to start and they think they need to like level their way up. Do you two have any like thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think. So I think in terms of leveling up, people definitely see it as a tiered thing, especially even Ezoic, which I think have kind of made huge grounds in recent years. But it always used to be like the Ezoic, Mediafire, and AdThrive. But I've definitely seen people having better experience on, say, Mediavine than they have on AdThrive, and AdThrive versus Ezoic. That said, you talk to Tyler from Ezoic, and he says, we're all getting the ads from the same on the same place, right? So, like, basically, it should be the same. It's all most of them are Google, and so your experience it just depends on a little bit on the tech and how it's delivered and how the placeholders are set up and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is that we've seen people move from one ad network to another and instantly see an upturn. Again, if you talk to Tyler, he'll say, well, it depends how you measure your upturn. And it gets complicated because I was talking to Tyler about this, about, how we've seen different people move from one ad networks to another. And he says, quite often people are moving from one to another because they're citing growth. So they're hitting a new threshold. So say they'll hit 50,000 for Mediavine. The month before they were 45, and then the next month they're like 55 or 60, and they're like, "This is brilliant! Like I'm getting more money." But like really, they've just grown their traffic by like 10% or whatever.
Right.
And there's a whole nother bunch of other things that kind of go into like why often when people move, they kind of see they see a positive effect, or at least think they do, until maybe if they look right down at page level and that kind of stuff, then maybe it's not any better or even worse potentially.
And I'll jump in before Elena goes, and that's one of the reasons I'm picking and choosing. But that's one of the reasons why like some communities or Facebook groups or whatever, where you just hear noise from unverified sources, it's like that's a super easy thing to look at. It's like your traffic went up, earnings per visit. Like it's very clear to see that either it's equal or not, but you'll see like one Facebook post and it's like bullshit. Like it's just it doesn't even make sense if you pull it apart. But then people don't read past like the headline or whatever, and then you end up with someone perhaps inexperienced, and they're like, oh, this one's the best, or I should definitely follow this path because this one random person said it. And I know that I'm just picking like a weird example to prove my point, and it works in the opposite way too. But usually that's what I see. Like we're sort of negative biased and stuff. So anyway.
Yeah. Anything to add?
Yeah,
Hello?
personally,
Go ahead.
like the way I've done things is I've always started off with AdSense. Because I was the type of person, I thought that it's level 1, level 2, level 3. So you get level 1 AdSense, level 2 Ezoic, and then the next after.
Well, I think that's definitely true. I mean, AdSense is definitely lower. It's definitely lower
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I've always had this motto that you just start to I just want to start monetizing straight away. Like, I get some traffic, start monetizing like immediately, because you're getting some money in the bank. Like, I know it's like little until you're able to reach the requirements of Ezoic or some higher paying ad network. And also, what I found that when I moved to Ezoic, actually was helpful for me to have an AdSense account because I was able to, sign up with the mediation app,
Yeah.
and they need Ezoic for that. So, sorry, they need AdSense for that. And right now, I'm still connected to AdSense as we speak, and I'm still earning some money via that and with Zoic because of the mediation app. So I actually think it's good for you to just monetize it straight away. You can always move. And it was kind of a tricky one for me because if you don't know what you're doing, when I switched to Ezoic, I couldn't see a difference of my earnings because I didn't set up properly. So by the time I managed to set up Ezoic properly, my traffic went up, so my money naturally were higher, my revenue was higher. So it was just one of those things. But I do recommend, I don't know, it's just what I did. Just sign up and start monetizing straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any problem with that. I mean, up to, the first, when you're getting the first few thousand, you're probably talking less than $1 a month kind of thing,
Yeah.
even for a couple of thousand visitors. So, yeah, it depends. But yeah, I like that idea. I'm so bad. I've still not set up mediation on my Ezoic account. Like I keep meaning to do it, and I just never get around to it. But I need to do that. But
It's good. I recommend it. It's good.
yeah, it's even that though. Tyler's it's complicated. Talk to Tyler about it, and he says, "Well, sometimes mediation's better, and like sometimes it's not. Like sometimes you'll earn more if you don't switch mediation on." And yeah, so what can you do? Anyway, let's move on because we've got 11 to get through, and we've done 15 minutes on one. So we'll be here late. So affiliate, we'll jump over it really quick, but affiliate, the most accessible and the first one that people often use is Amazon affiliate. You don't have to use just Amazon affiliate. They're the best probably in terms of conversion because people know Amazon. People already have an Amazon account. Then the masters of upsell, or once you've got something in the basket, they'll see some other stuff as well. So you can kind of benefit from that in terms of commissions. Affiliate, for anyone who's listening who doesn't know, affiliate is essentially having a partnership with an e-commerce site or product. So effectively, you write a review about a product. In the most simple example, you get it to rank in Google. Somebody searches for that review. They get to your page. They click the link, which goes off to Amazon. And if somebody buys something on Amazon, doesn't even have to be the product that you were linking to, then you'll get a commission for that and anything else they put in the basket and anything else for the next 24 hours too. So that's Amazon, and it's really easy to add to your site. It's really simple. Commission's low, but like I say, like conversion rate is high. So often, even though commission's lower than other places, you'll find that you'll do better with Amazon than on something else. But it's something definitely worth testing. if it's higher value products with something that's a higher commission rate, then that can work for working with other partners. But there's more than just Amazon. There's marketing networks such as Share a Sale, Commission Junction, ClickBank, that kind of thing. And then the best option, if you can do it, and if you become a bit more of an authority in your niche, and you can prove traffic levels and stuff to certain pages on your site, then you can negotiate your own affiliate deals as well directly with products or brands, and get like a much better offer, and continue to negotiate that over time as you improve and continue to get sales for them. So in summary, that's like affiliate, I think. Anything to add on that, guys?
I'll jump in and talk about digital products. So I mean, I guess there's some digital products potentially for like ClickBank and Share a Sale, but software and courses are also out there, and usually they have a very good commission rate. They used to almost all be like 50%, but I think the trend is to pay maybe like 30 to 40%. Some courses and software pay a little bit lower, but I mean, it's a digital product, so there's no inventory. It's scalable, so they're happy to pay a much higher commission rate. And like in our space, there's tons of like agencies, right? So I could promote that service as well. It's not a digital product specifically, but it's a service. So that's like a whole area that usually is untapped. Some niches don't lend themselves to it at all. Usually there's some courses though. Like even if there's not software associated, usually there's courses.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Exactly. There's absolutely loads of stuff on there. And for some brands and some, that's the only place they only work with marketing networks. You can't even go direct. They just do it all through there sometimes. Okay. So like an email list. This one's a bit more obscure, and definitely you kind of need to start getting some traffic to this. But growing an email list for any niche site is a good thing to do. That's one way to diversify your traffic. You get to retain those customers then, or retain those people, and you get to promote any new blog post you have out, and any of the other things maybe you're monetizing with, which we'll come on to later. But there's a whole number of ways, other things that you could be promoting. You could be promoting your affiliate stuff through there. I don't think Amazon like you doing that, but you can definitely do it kind of with other people. But wait, once you have a list and start growing that, and again, Elena, there's no reason to wait for like traffic, like certain levels. If you get one new subscriber a day or a week, even in the beginning, that's one subscriber you didn't have before. So it's just that you kind of need to be able to keep that list warm, and you need to start working with them. You don't want it to just go cold. And if you've really got only a few, it's probably a lot of work for only a few people. Whereas once you start getting some real traffic and you can build your list quickly, then it makes the effort worth it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you can really use the email list. I think it's really powerful. If you have people who are specifically like following you, you can do so much. You can, for example, you can do sponsored stuff going on there. So, for example, I pay you to, I don't know, recommend my course, and I'll have like a dedicated section on my this week's email. And also you can do products. So you don't have to specifically put a blog post, for example, less protein powder. You can, like, for example, do it in an email to those who are signed up. So for example, you say, this is my chosen protein powder for this week for you guys to bulk up or something like that. You stick some links and hopefully make a sale without needing to do a whole blog post about it. And you directly, targeting these people, and they may purchase. So I think email list is great if you can really. I think you need to be creative. You need to, as you said, keep it warm and really spend time to weekly, even daily, whatever your routine is, to update those people and keep them entertained. It's like having an audience on YouTube. You have to keep pushing out content and keep those people entertained, and give them value. So.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Selling slots on email newsletters as well. Selling ad spots.
Yeah.
Doug, you probably had a list longer than all of us.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say that's interesting and everything, but I have a student, Christy, who's been on my channel like 20 times or so, and she just started selling space on her newsletter it's like $500 a month for like each person that signs up. So she added one. She's about to close another one, which is like a pretty significant extra amount of money that's like
Yeah.
completely immune to like algorithm updates, anything else. Like that's just there. And I think the more she closes deals, like the more she'll get because the competitors and other people in the market will see that they're advertising on her newsletter.
Mm.
So, and
So that's
yeah,
for her niche site as well.
yep, yeah,
Yeah, that's cool,
exactly.
isn't it? Yeah. So there you go. So 500 a month, do you say? Is that
Yeah,
she's charging?
per like
Or per
you know,
placement? I
yeah,
guess it depends on who.
or sorry, it's per month. I don't know how many. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know the full package, but generally, she was like, it'll be $500 a month, and I don't know how many emails are included or anything like that, or if they're dedicated, or if it's just like a slot or whatever. But yeah, significant money. So I mean, I would say by the end of the year, there's a good chance she'll have like an extra, $1,500 to $2,000 per month just from the email list,
Yeah.
agnostic to like any impacts elsewhere.
Yeah. So it's worth sending 4 or 5 emails for at that point. For
Yeah.
that extra cash. So yeah. Awesome. Love it. Now you got me thinking. I'm gonna start reaching out for some people. I need to start. Anyway, I've got one of my niche sites has got a good, half decent. It's a growing list. It's a site that's been around for a year, but it's got about 1,000 subscribers now, so it's not insignificant. But yeah, might start working with that. See what you can get. Okay, so you kind of touched on this one already, Doug. I'll let you go with this one. So products.
So I think we're probably talking digital products because that's like easiest to grasp and maybe easier to execute on. But yeah, from the start on like niche site project, I launched immediately with like a product. It was an ebook at the time, they were relatively popular. And the great part with that is you don't have to rely on like another entity to sell for you, and then you get those customers. You could work with them in the future. The margins are 90-95% depending how much waste you have in your system, but usually the software is really inexpensive. I use Kajabi, and it's one of the higher end course platforms and marketing platforms, and it's like $150 a month. Like usually you can get it for even cheaper. But once you have your own products and you're able to sell them, you have a lot of confidence because you're like, I can create another product because there's all this stuff that I could teach or help other people to do it. And I think it's probably one of the best ways to diversify away from like Amazon, or even if you're working with another great program that, let's say, it's very niche specific, it converts well, but they could change the program. So I've heard of people like doing really well for 2 years, and then the company's purchased, or the company goes out of business because they were paying affiliates too much maybe, and a couple other pieces where it just kind of falls apart. But if you own the product, then you have like an asset. Further, like you can sell it, so it's way more valuable. Like if you sell your whole company, it's way more valuable to sell a product that's like a money making thing with a
Yeah.
whole marketing funnel versus like a site that is an intermediary. So yeah, products and courses, they kind of fit together. If you're into software, of course, that's great too. But I even have a software background, and I was like, I don't even want to touch that.
Yeah.
But people do it. Usually, it seems like a lot of people that are not in software end up doing it because I think they don't know how much it sucks, maybe. But that's just
Yeah.
me. I'm
I
lazier
mean,
than most.
it sucks, but like, yeah, you can sell a SaaS product for pretty good multiples, like, and very little overheads quite often. So it's just there is some work in maintaining the code base and supporting the product potentially. But
Yeah.
yeah, Elena, what do you think on products?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Do you think that ebooks are still a thing, Doug? You said they used to be a thing back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I meant ebooks that you would sell for like $100. Like I feel like usually they're cheaper now, right?
Yeah, I think
Yep,
so. Yeah, it
Um,
depends what it is, right? But
I
yeah.
think they are.
mostly,
Yeah. They're still around, but it's more like on the, I think, the self-publishing side. And if you're selling something for $100, like, I mean, it's almost probably a video course most of the time. But yeah. There was like a book, I think Nathan Barry wrote it, called Authority. And it was like, yeah, you can, write an ebook and sell it. And I feel like there was like a 2-year period where like that was what I was like trying to follow along with, but it kind of went away. Anyway, yeah, ebooks.
Ebooks and exclusivity. Has any of you like done anything like that? Because I've seen sites where you pay $5 and you get exclusiveness. That doesn't mean to be a course, but like you get exclusiveness to like this part of maybe one-to-one, or like I don't know, like this extra content, or like you get the recipes first, or you get this information first. Like I think this is also a pretty cool thing, where if you have, I guess, a big audience and you kind of offer these people exclusiveness where it makes you feel a bit more special, is, I guess, pretty cool as well. Or like something just for you, which is kind of a product. Like, for example, pay $50 and I make you a meal plan just for you. This is also
Yeah.
kind of it's also is a product that you do.
That's almost consultancy a bit at that point as well, which is what I haven't added to the list, but definitely can be a great money spinner if you're a expert in your space, or you become well known. Then consultancy, you can charge quite a significant amount per hour depending on like what it is that you're doing. So
but you can have it already pre-made, because a lot of people are quite like depending, and if you can have, for example, weight loss meal prep already done, so you can just bang 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 for the first 10 people. You don't have to specifically do it by every person, so it doesn't really fall as much as consultancy, unless of course you do something one-to-one and it's kind of more coaching and stuff. But I guess it can be kind of done on a bigger scale as well. So
sure. Of course, So I think with products, digital is obviously easiest. But if your niche lends itself to physical products and you want to get into that world, you just got to worry about managing stock and all that kind of stuff. Then and returns and all of that kind of thing. But it might be that that's a really good thing to get into. And I guess to start with, you could be selling somebody else's products and buying them at wholesale. And then maybe even creating some of your own products and working with a firm to manufacture your own products as well. Often that's good to trial out with someone else's product first, see how many units you start selling. And if you think, hang on, I can make a bigger and better margin if I just create this product myself, and then work it that way. Similar with courses, actually. You mentioned courses there as being one of the products, Doug, but with courses, now, before you go ahead and create a whole course, and before you can actually give it to anyone, it's quite a good idea to. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, Kate, because I'm not exactly done any courses, but I would say, I guess if you're forever growing your audience and it's kind of an evergreen thing, then if you kind of promote someone else's course for a while, see how many sales you make for them, and see if it's worth you kind of investing the time to create your own course. It's a bit similar to that products thing I just mentioned. Try it on somebody else's first before you go to all the expense or the time to do it. But I guess you don't want to burn out your whole audience selling someone else's course if you're planning to do your own. So it's kind of a bit of chicken and egg there, really.
Yeah, I mean, either way is fine. I mean, selling other people's courses is okay, especially if you're not ready to put in the time or effort or whatever. But I would say before you develop a course, you should definitely pre-sell it. And then I think all the course platforms, they have like free material for you to learn. I mean, they want you to buy the product and be successful and pay for it forever. So they'll teach you how to do it basically. And, they almost all of them will teach you to pre-sell your course so you don't waste like 3 months creating something that no one wants. Yeah. So if you could pre-sell it, then that takes care of the problem. If you can sell, an affiliate deal or promote that, that's fine also. But yeah, the big thing is I would say like I would not create a course without pre-selling it. Otherwise, I mean, that's unfortunately, Christy that I mentioned before with the email list ad spots, she created 2 courses without pre-selling them for some fucking I told her 100 times not to do that. And she wasted months and thousands of dollars on it. Super easy problem to fix by just doing what everyone says. But she came from like an old school like startup world, and she was like, yeah, I just want to do it ahead of time, which I mean baffles me. So anyway, don't do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, go ahead.
I guess it really works quite well on a consultancy basis, though. Actually, if you've got, you can get a consultant if that your niche lends itself to some sort of consultancy or personal training or whatever, then you can actually get someone else to do that for you for a bit, see how well it works out, and work out some other kind of, yeah, because and I guess yeah, I mean it's time. It's one of those things. It's like time for money kind of things as well. So do you really want to do it yourself, or do you want to get someone else to do it, and that kind of thing? But there's definitely, yeah. I think just the learning there is just don't spend too much time investing something you don't know you can actually sell at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I'll just jump into a lot of people will talk about how great courses are. It's not easy to sell them. So it took me like a long time to figure that out. So maybe everything that we're talking about sounds easy. We're just like, yeah, here's a laundry list of stuff. Each of
Oh
them
yeah,
are pretty difficult.
yeah, for sure. And I think again with all of these, until you've got an audience, there's no point in trying to develop a course or develop a product or anything. No one's coming to you. If no one's coming to your site, you're not going to sell any courses or any products. So again, you just need to make get ads to the affiliate at the start, and then build your email list, and then once you've got some traffic and some following, then you can start thinking about these things.
And those are always the ads and headlines. It's like create a course and sell it with no audience. And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, one or two people did it, but good luck. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
and then you got to use paid ads, right, to try and sell the course because you've got no audience, and then can you do it and still make a profit by doing it? Yeah, I guess some people could get away with it if the course is unique and compelling enough, and you get it in front of the right people. But yeah, it's going to be harder. Social media. I mean, this is a bit similar. Oh, no, it's not. We haven't really spoken about it. I guess it's similar to the mailing list of what we've spoken about so far. You're just trying to create an audience kind of somewhere else where you can funnel them to your website, where you can build community, where you can become an expert maybe in your field. And once you kind of have that following, then it's kind of, again, it's yours. I talked about having it kind of ties in with the community one actually. So I really like Facebook groups and pairing them up with my niche sites, because that is a great way to just get people over to the website, but also just start conversations. And again, if you kind of end up growing that big enough, you can kind of start to do affiliate deals in there and loads of different ways. Once you've got, there's all of these things about getting an audience. Once you've got an audience, there's plenty of ways to like monetize them. So you can kind of do that with kind of social media as well. And different platforms are going to be better for different things as well. Like for your food niche, Elena, like and Pinterest is kind of like a lot better for like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So and that's more like a search engine. So actually you can
Yeah.
kind of continue to get traffic over a long period of time rather than like a more transient social media platform.
Yeah, I absolutely love utilizing social media. I think it's often overlooked in the SEO world. I think it's something that people should go after, not just for sending positive social signals to your site, but I think it's a great way of generating traffic as well. And yeah, I've seen quite a lot of success, especially Pinterest. So I do recommend it.
You're not a social media guy. Should we just skip on, Doug?
Yeah. No, I'll be quick though. I know I have a lot of friends that have like huge. They're big on Instagram typically, and they're able to sell their courses and like promote things really
Yeah,
well. And I think their blogs usually suck. Not always, but like their blogs or whatever their website is. So I think it just shows us like spend time on like what you enjoy. Those people, I think they started enjoying social media, but all of them had like some meltdowns or something because it's social media and people will eventually be mean
yeah.
when
When
something
you
goes
become,
viral.
yeah,
But basically, the idea is they spend a lot of time on social media, so they have like whatever, like 100, 200,000 followers or something like that, and their blog is 10 posts, they get almost no traffic there, and it's just kind of a placeholder. Or you'll see like someone with a big blog and they just kind of have, like Christy, for example. I just talked to her yesterday, it's so fresh in my mind. She has like some social media, but it's just kind of a placeholder so she can
Yeah.
DM people to make some deals. But her blog gets, a shitload of traffic. And there's some balance. I mean, you potentially could do both, but I doubt you'd be able to do it in like under 3 years. Like you'd have to focus all on one and then all on the other. I mean, that's from someone who doesn't do social media, because I don't enjoy it that much. It's a time suck.
Yeah.
But
No, I totally hear you. I've seen both of those scenarios actually. I've seen
okay.
either your site's great and then your social media profiles are like dead. You haven't posted in years, or you're spending too much time on your social media and then your site's kind of there.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the balance. I have to say, like, if I was to do social media properly, like really spend time, I wouldn't have the time to spend on my site. So it's really like that balance that you need to find. But I think doing a little bit a day shouldn't harm you so much. Like if I have a post, I post it on my social media accounts. It takes 5 minutes. Yeah, but I agree there is a balance that needs to be kind of met in there. It's not easy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, those people were your friends, Doug, until you called their blogs rubbish. So
Yeah. They know. They were like, I need help on this. And I'm like, yeah, it looks rough. So
yeah, but I totally agree. Yeah, you got to go put everything behind one platform. If you try and do TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn and Facebook, you're gonna get nowhere. It's like trying to do lots of niche sites at once, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before.
How's TikTok for y'all?
I find that dedicating time, for example, I do YouTube on Saturday, like dedicate time. Like Monday you do Instagram, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday you do your site, and then Friday you do YouTube. You can kind of put some structure in place and some schedule that can maybe help you, but again, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you end up with, well, it sounds like so much, Elena. I'm like, that's
true.
Did you say on Saturday?
Saturday
No
is
way.
my...
I'm taking Mondays and Fridays off now, so like I just got to squeeze it in. Oh, you guys are doing TikTok, right? I'm going to take us off the rails for a second. You guys were doing TikTok for a while. How's that going, Mark?
Yeah, shit. No, the reason that it's going badly is because we literally just done what we said, right? We're not focusing enough time on it. Our team didn't have enough time on it. However, we hired Luke this week. This week, or was it last week? No, last week. Yeah, last week. We had Luke last week. He's probably watching on the stream. Who's got some experience with TikTok. We're going to have him spending more time with TikTok. Not just him creating on there. We have a couple of people in the team creating, but he's going to come up with a strategy and like a posting schedule and that kind of thing. Because with things like TikTok, you just have to be quite regular with it to grow your audience, like multiple times a day. Whereas we were doing like once or twice a week or something, which just isn't going to get anywhere. But we do have a TikTok. If you want to join the other 3 people on there. Just search niche website builders. You'll find it on TikTok, I'm sure. We've got some work to do on both the content and the amount of content, I think.
And then do you have peers out there, other agencies that are closing deals on TikTok? Or is it just for like a branding situation?
Oh no,
what's the goal?
I think so. Yeah, you definitely see some people that are doing pretty well on it. I can't say from the pipeline, but there's lots of businesses as well. You heard of there's one called one I always think of is Miss Excel. Have you heard of Miss Excel?
No.
So she's on TikTok and she's got tens of thousands of followers. She's been all over in like national press and things like that now. But it's just like Excel tips, like how do I don't know, merge 2 cells? Probably a bit too basics, but it's just like the steps.
Right.
And she to some backing music with her dancing, and that's it. But that's what she does.
Gotcha. And I see Luke's in the chat there. He's big on TikTok. He says it's essential for outreach in 2022. That's another argument for another day, but I love the enthusiasm. I mean, people are into it, obviously. people love TikTok, but yeah, I'm just like, I cannot see myself. I buy services sometimes, but I'm like, well, I deleted TikTok off of my phone, so I'm not even in the market there. But basically, if I'm like swiping, I can't imagine I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to buy something for $1,000 right now. But maybe it's like email. I watch the live stream on TikTok, and then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will order the link building package or whatever.
I think it feeds in, like it's a bit like YouTube, like you build up
Yeah,
following over time. I mean,
you're right.
the question I had about it was like, you know, our demographic for people that actually find niche sites eventually are not the under 25s generally, right? They're people that are a
Right.
little bit older. So, but the thing is, like, TikTok is just massive now. Even if it's only like 20% of the people that will
Yeah.
potentially buy that are over 25 or whatever, that's still a massive amount of people to reach. So we'll give it a go. We'll see how it works out. But
Yeah.
they've got massive reach right now. So, and the other thing that attracted us to it was that we have seen people growing accounts and growing followings and growing really, really quickly. Again, because although there's so many creators out there, like good creators in specific niches, there's there's actually low what's the word, like low amount of content for particular areas. Just like being first in to the race. If you
Yeah.
get first into the race, you can grow your audience really quick. Whereas a few years down the line, it'll be a little bit harder. And like, there's not many people doing stuff on niche sites right now. Maybe it'll come to nothing. Maybe it will be great. But like, I think there's that, that first advantage, whatever they call that. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Plus, it's so big. There's got to be some interest somewhere.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
All right, I'll let you get back to it. Sorry. You were running a good session here, keeping us on track, but
We're good. So I think community we've covered. I guess the only thing about community is that, yeah, sure, like you can grow a community somewhere, whether that's on social media, a Facebook group, or a private community, and there's plenty of community platforms that you can use to do that kind of thing, or Discord or something like that. Also, you can have a paid community as well, potentially. So that's another way to monetize potentially directly. So indirectly through growing an audience, or directly through having a paid community. And a bit like what you were talking about, Elena, just a minute ago, like where people get access to stuff early. Maybe they get that by joining the community, or they get special
Yeah.
privileges for being part of that community, and they'll pay for that privilege. But very much depends on the niche again.
and I'll jump in. I'm not a community person. I'm antisocial apparently in multiple
Yeah.
ways, but I'm self-aware about it. So, and if you meet me in person, it's fine. But just on the internet, I'm weirder. So I was going to say I met a bunch of YouTubers at various conferences, and they were like, I'm making all my money on Discord memberships and community. So they were like, I'm making most of my money from that, not courses anymore. I do a couple brand deals on my videos, but it's all the Discord community.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how what they a value they provide. Did they give any insight into what value they provide in those Discord communities?
A number of them were like stock market investing types or investment type
Right.
things
So
where there's some
tips and
timeliness.
yeah.
And the other piece that I was like, email list, like you guys got to do more in the email list. And after I talked to them, I was like, you're basically interchanging an email list with a community. So like they get, the same amount of reach, and they have kind of the
Yeah.
same numbers in their Discord community as they would on the email list, and it's just a different format. And there's alerts and people have it on their phone or whatever, but it serves the same. So I was like, you don't need an email list. You have the community, you own it, it's on your server, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome. YouTube, I think we've kind of done that as well, like pretty much. Have we done that? I guess it's again.
yeah,
I mean, that's the other. I guess the other thing is it's about building a community, but you can also, once you get to a certain level, monetize on YouTube. And depending how much you've grown your channel, for some people that can be quite a good earner. But yeah, I guess you get to grow a community and monetize it at the same time. Send people to your site and vice versa. Send people from your site to your YouTube, and it's a circular monetization wheel.
yeah. And I think what we see here is like you have an audience or a place where people get information, and then you can sell your own stuff or sell someone else's or have ads. So all of these are pretty much the same. I mean, if you could sell in a Facebook group or on social media, email lists, whatever, in Discord. So it all fits
Yeah,
the
a lot of
same.
them basically ends up the same. Yeah. This one's a bit different. Lead generation. So I guess this one is if you're getting people that are interested in coming to your site in specific products. Often people use this for like local if they're working with like local businesses. So it might be that you're ranking for, I don't know, like what could it be? The
Plumber.
I was going to say plumber. How did you know that? I already had plumber in my head, but I thought that's not a good enough example. Like the 10 best plumbers in New York or something. It's not going to really work. But yeah, something like that, right? Where you can actually feed people leads, and they can just purchase. And there's loads of ways you can monetize. Different ways you can create a monetization system for that. It's like per lead, or you just say, or you can take all the leads for a month for a fixed fee, like that. And depending on how your site's set up, it could be that you work with multiple companies on that. So maybe you got the plumbers, but maybe you've got some builders and all of those different kinds of people. But it could be lead generation for anyone. We were talking about the consultancy earlier. If we were talking about somebody who does, like you said, like recipe plans, Elena, or nutritionalist or something like that, you might have a cookery site. You might not be a nutritionalist, but you might be able to provide leads to a nutritionalist or something like that to get some referrals. So like an online, you don't really have to be in person to be a nutritionalist so much, do you? You just do that over Zoom. So you could provide leads to an online nutritionalist potentially and things like that as well. So I'll move on real quick, but I think that's the general gist of kind of lead generation, I think. And similar to that is kind of renting space. So this is definitely one where people might so you could rent an entire site, or you can rent different pages on the site. So you could rent they call it like rank. It's known as like rank and rent. So you could rank a plumber site in New York and become the #1 ranking plumber site for all the best terms in New York, and then take it out to some of the plumbing firms in New York and say, hey, I rank for, bathroom fitter, blah, 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 blah. Like, for X amount of money, you can just take over this site and have all the leads, or I'll send you all the leads from this site. But there's no reason why you couldn't do it on page level as well, in a similar way. So you could rent out specific pages and say, any leads from this page, which happens to be the plumber page or whatever, then you can kind of get that and then rent multiple pages out as well. Something else was going to mention, but I can't remember. Anything to add on that? No. I've never done this, but I think this is awesome. Like, and I need to start thinking about it. You start thinking about lead generation and renting more, I think, on all of my sites, and then adding people to my email list. I'm glad we did this, because this is all stuff that I know you should think about and do. This is the whole point of this video, I think, is that everyone would have heard of these things, right? There's nothing like here that we've spoken about today that people would have gone, all right, yeah, I've never heard of YouTube. Like that's a weird thing, but actually trying to think about it in the context of your own site or your own sites and how you could use it. Like I said at the start of the video, pretty much all of these you can use for most niches. You can find an angle if you wanted to, and it's like you did with with Christie, Doug. It could be decent chunks of money as well when you kind of do this kind of stuff. You're fighting for ad revenue where every 10,000 page views you're getting an extra $50 or whatever, and you could just sell an ad for $500 a month and you're done. So it gets you thinking, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with the rank and rent and renting space or whatever, it's another one of the business models that I saw like right when I was beginning. There doesn't seem to be as much like buzz about it. Like we talk about our display ad sites or affiliate sites or whatever, but there, at least in the world that we're in, not as many. It just doesn't come up. So I wonder if it's so great that no one's teaching it out there because they're like, we don't want anyone else to know, or if it's just not that great, and maybe it worked for a little while, but it's not as popular right now. But I don't
Yeah.
run across people that say, yeah, I'm doing this full time or anything like that. I don't know.
No, and actually kind of selling it to business. Yeah, maybe. And I think there's a little bit of me as well. So like, how ethical is it really? Like, I'm not really a plumber, but I'm gonna go and I know SEO, so I'm gonna go and rank for the plumber thing, beat these real plumbers down, and then I'm gonna charge someone to like, it feels slightly unethical to me. I think. And I guess what the thing that I was going to mention, which is unethical as well, about renting spaces, people have done this before, is like renting top spot in my review page. So I've got a roundup review of X number of products. You pay me this, and you'll be like number one, and I get like this much traffic to this page, and you'll stay number one and get leads. It's like lead generation, but they're kind of you getting at the top of your review page.
Right. Yeah, actually I have a friend who he spent a lot of time doing like guest posts and just getting a lot of traffic on really profitable software reviews. And all the companies try to get in touch with him to either get on the list or get moved up in the list. And yeah, he was just charging like a quarterly rate. And I think it was more, and he was still earning like affiliate commissions too. So it was just like placement. So, I mean, it is sort of double dipping, but like if the money's there, he justified it like, hey, it's fine. Although I was going to say like, I have used several different course platforms or whatever, and he has like these reviews on course platforms written by other people who haven't used the software. He's never used the software, and he's just like placing it sort of by how much it pays. Like a company like Kajabi specifically, I think you have to be a customer to be an affiliate. So he's like, I don't even like they're at the bottom of the list, which makes no sense because they're pretty anyway. So there is some unethical stuff, and that's why you can't trust product reviews half the time. So
I know. That's for another day. Lots of things you can't trust. Number 11, last one that I've put on my list anyway, is just paid ads. So this only really works if you do some of the things we mentioned above. So if you're running your own courses, or you've got products, or something that it's going to be worth spending some money on ads on to promote. So if you're just, you will not find any value in just trying to pay for traffic to your site to get ad revenue, for example. That's never gonna add up. You're going to lose money doing that. And affiliate, it can work, but it has to be a very profitable product, whether you're selling a lot of them or it's a high value product. But often, almost 100% of the time, I'd say paid ads do not work for affiliate either. So if you're selling courses or products, why not? Like, paid ads might be something that works for you. So that might be Facebook ads, who are on the cheaper end of the scale. But the way that targeting works with Facebook ads is that you just pick demographics of people that you want to target. They may not be looking for your course at that time. They just might fit the right profile, and they're seeing an ads, and it's cheaper, and you'll get in front of more people. But things like Google ads, obviously, when people search for it, they actually, when you show your ad, they're actually searching for the course at the time. So the cost per click is a lot more, but they are an active seeker of what you are providing at that time. So they're not equivalent. You can't compare them side by side in cost per click, and they serve different purposes. So, it's worth trying them both out. You'll find out pretty quickly whether you can make money using ads to sell your products, your services, or community, or whatever it is you're selling.
Yeah, I used to use paid ads on my Facebook to promote my Facebook page, and I did get like quite a lot of likes, on my Facebook page at the time. So I have played around with them, but I think they can be quite helpful with courses and digital products. I think it's a good way to kind of reach people, and try and make those sales. So I guess why not?
Yeah, products, services. Yeah, services, consultancy, all of that kind of stuff you could potentially use it for. Doug, anything to add if you use paid ads on anything?
Not in a long time. There was a period where I was using it for like sort of list building to sell my courses, and it was fine. Like occasionally it worked out well, but similar to social media because they were Facebook ads, a lot of the comments and like other pieces along with it, I was like, these aren't the best leads. Like I got some pretty good ads. I did a lot of testing and spent a decent amount of money on it. But eventually I was like, I'd rather just do this organically and like have everything smaller, but not me pulling people in. They were coming to consume the content. So that was just a specific choice to go with like organic type traffic and people that wanted to hear from me, not me trying to like raise my hand and say, hey, listen to whatever I'm talking about. So not the best business move, but it made me happier overall and it was easier to do.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we're on the hour now, so we're gonna wrap it up. We have 38 likes already, 39 likes already. So we've hit the number for the giveaway. So if you're interested in some niche website builder merch, t-shirts, mugs, caps, that kind of thing, then type something in the chat now. If you don't type something in the chat in the next few minutes or so, then you won't be entered because that's just the way it works. You have to do that, otherwise YouTube will not let us see who's there. So do that, and whilst we're doing that, I'll go and grab some questions because I've naughtily neglected everybody in here. I don't know if there are any questions apart from what's it like. I don't know what that was referring to. Oh no, it's you, Doug. That's your question. And any questions? Just some comments from Sony. I think if you only have one way to make an income, then you're destined to fail. Safety and growth. Yeah, exactly. I think
I disagree with that.
You disagree, but
Yeah.
one.
I think in Tony, I think the idea that you're trying to make is okay, but I think if someone's a beginner and they see that, they're thinking, oh, I need to diversify and have multiple income streams, and they're like trying to do too many things. And I think you can also have a single income source and be successful, but
You can, but
I don't think you're not destined to fail. It's just it's too exact and it's too prescribed. So I think, yeah.
If you
So
stick,
I said I disagree with it. It's some of the nuance and wording, though.
yeah. I think if you've got something like a mailing list or something that's just solid, that's yours, that you know can consistently work with, then that's probably fine. But like, you wouldn't probably want to have just ads, but you can be successful that way, right? I mean, John Dykstra is a good example of that. Like, he just does ads after ads, but yeah.
And I say this as someone with like a lot of, I haven't even tallied them up, but I have a lot of different income sources. Elena, what do you think? Because I'm just coming in and like, I'm going to disagree with people. So
No, I was kind of, my heart kind of sank a little bit because my kind of strategy is very heavily focused on display adverts monetization. That's how I make most of my revenue. Because I don't know, it just kind of eliminates a lot of the risk. I do have like affiliate on my side, but like I keep it to a minimum. So I think I think I agree with him. Like I think it's always good to like don't ever put all your eggs in one basket, right? So always kind of do as much as you can. But I think you're right when it comes to beginners, because otherwise you get too confused when it comes to, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to make a course, I need to do affiliate, I need to do adverts. It's just too much. So I think as a beginner, just start with one thing and then expand once you get familiar with that one thing. But yeah, I think it's always good to have more opportunities. I think so. I kind of agree with him. So
okay. And I think you brought up the point that I was really trying to make, Elena, is like beginners don't try to diversify too early. That's a huge mistake because like, yeah, actually I hear from a number of people that are just like, I'm not making any money yet and I'm trying to diversify and have multiple sites and have like 3 streams of income from each one, and they're just spinning their wheels. So I think like you have to be at the right stage to like add diversification, and usually people still do it too early. And Tony mentioned here, so basically if you have ad revenue and then the ad company blocks you, then you've lost 100% of your income. And that's true, and we could pick specific examples of that would like prove or disprove. But Tony does say, I agree, you should not, or you should build one at a time and not all at once. So that satisfies me. I just hate it when people like beginners are they're confused because we're talking about like fucking 10 plus things, right? So they're like, oh, I need to do at least 5, and that's going to be really hard to do. So
Yeah, it just stresses them out, and they end up burning out. Like they're working on a course, they're working on this, they're working on that, and
yeah,
it's just too much. So
yeah. Okay, I think we reached an agreement. Thanks, Tony. That's cool.
Cool. There's a couple of other things. I think there's been so many. I don't think there's too many questions in there, but it's been a lot of chat that I've missed out on today. Normally, I did too much talking today, so I didn't get a chance. But yeah, we'll make sure they're covered off. But I think I got off. There's this one: thoughts to turning your website to a brand through YouTube vids, protect yourself to algo updates so much. I think if you can build any assets around your website is good for the reasons that we've mentioned. And like YouTube's a Google kind of company, right? So if you can connect your website to YouTube, they're probably only going to see that as a positive signal. Whether it protects you from algo updates is another thing. But I think what you were alluding to kind of there is that turning your website into a brand. I think what a lot of people do not do is start to think about their website as a business. And think of it as a hustle, as a side project, but hopefully maybe I'll get rich on it. And actually, maybe you need to start thinking about it in terms of being a brand or being a business. And actually, if you do start thinking about it in that way, then you start thinking about, okay, well, what else can I do? And like thinking about some of the things that we've been talking about today to actually build some assets and build some other revenue streams around that are just beyond like, I'm just going to do it with ads and make all my money and be done. And it's a side hustle rather than treating it with respect. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. Anything to add? Oh, hang on, we've got. I know, Marcus. That's good. 31,000 members.
Wow.
Do you monetize with any? Do anything with them? Are they just? Is it just for chat? Right. I'm going to do the weird names. Luckily, I copied the people out before they started disappearing off again. So let me quickly bring up this. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Matt, or is it Paul?
no,
Close one. It's Matt. Congratulations, Matt.
Well done.
Head over to the Niche Website Builders website at nichewebsite.builders. I'm trying to remember how I turn off screen sharing. There you go. Niche Website.builders. Go to the chat, go to the contact form, and we'll send you over the merch that you want. We'll send over, if you haven't seen it, we'll send you over examples of what you can get, t-shirts wise and etc. And you can choose. So congratulations, Matt. And yeah, Carly can recommend one of the teas. So I think Carly might have a few, but yeah, they're all good quality. Excellent. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. I guess we're on your show next your channel next week, Doug. If you're new to this show, it's called the Niche Lifestyle Show, not the Website Investing Show. It says, as it says in the corner there. I just got the graphics all wrong today. But the Niche Lifestyle Show, we have rotating on 3 YouTube channels. Ours, this one here on today, Doug's, and also Alex at WP Eagle. So all of the links to the other channels are in the description, so you can go and sign up for that so you don't miss any Niche Lifestyle Show. But yeah, Doug, anything to close on?
Yeah, I have a couple things. One, my course, Multi-Profit Site, is open for enrollment until Friday, so October 14th, 11:55 Mountain Time, so end of day, basically. You can you could find it if you go to Niche Site Project and hop over there. Actually, go to courses.nichesiteproject.com, and then you'll be able to get over to it. Or you can go to my YouTube channel there, which is linked in the description. And the other thing is I have Melissa Palmer that I interviewed on Monday. So she's been full-time for like 2 months. Very popular interview so far. So I encourage people to check it out. And then tomorrow on the 13th, Tony, I always forget his last name, Maritato. He has an update. He's making, I think, it's over 100K a year from his portfolio of sites and a couple things that he's working on. But it's pretty cool. He reveals some of his sites that he's working on and gives like a pretty cool breakdown. So that's coming out tomorrow, and you could check it out on the channel. So if you just head over there and subscribe, you'll be able to see those new videos out there.
Awesome. Elena, anything to add before we say goodbye?
I'm working on an interesting case study, and that has to do
When's it
with. Well, I don't know. I just want to make sure it's
out?
right. It's to do with our link packs on our niche website builder site. It's quite interesting because we have had a good increase on the client side with some really competitive keywords and some traffic based on the increased kind of rankings of these keywords. So it's going to be nice and subtle, kind of a nice little case study that I think is going to be exciting for our audience.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks very much, everybody. We'll see you next week. We're not doing the website investing show. So that's good. We did it today instead. We're not doing it tomorrow for different reasons. Adam's off, I'm off, and yeah, so it's not happening. But we're back again next week, and also the Niche Lifestyle Show on Doug's channel. Sign up to our newsletter or sign up to our emailing list on the Niche website builder site to hear more about when the shows are out and what they are. And we also have a podcast, which we never mention on here. We have a podcast, so you can go and check that out as well on all your favorite places, which is run the podcast. We have somebody who does interviews on there called James. So you can go and check those out because they're pretty good and pretty in depth too. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. Catch you again next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.